Good morning. This is exciting time for me to speak with us about this subject of immense public importance. Hepatitis B or even hepatitis in general has often been associated with people reporting improvements whenever they took sugarcane. And unfortunately, a lot of people have attributed the recovery to sugarcane usage rather than to the fact that the virus itself has a capacity to be controlled by the individual when contracted in adulthood. Straight to the point, my answer to the question whether sugarcane cures hepatitis is no. But don't go away and don't put off that video at the moment, because I'm going to explain myself. And this is not an attempt to safeguard the practice of orthodox medicine or advertise it. I don't stand to gain anything by doing that. All I'm trying to do is to educate, as it were, the public about wrong beliefs, and thereby keeping them away from accessing adequate care that would actually safeguard their lives. Unfortunately, not everyone who had consumed sugarcane had recovered from hepatitis. So what is the case? Now, there are literature and even documentation on the internet circulating and claiming the fact that sugarcane cures hepatitis, and particularly viral hepatitis. Now, that is far from the truth. Not everything you see on internet is correct. In reality, I will explain why sugarcane may seem to give some benefit to some people. We had established the fact that the liver stores excess nutrients. In particular, glucose is stored in the liver in the form of glycogen. During the fasted state, glycogen is broken down into glucose, and which provides immediate source of energy to any individual. In severe hepatitis, meaning that the liver is so severely inflamed that there is such little stores of glycogen, sugarcane would provide a ready source of glucose. Now, that means that there is some metabolic advantage that sugarcane would provide, but sugarcane has no antiviral properties whatsoever. Of course, some have attributed the fact that there are some chemicals, minerals, and vitamins in sugarcane. Of course, they have their claims to that in several ways, but if there is any of such vitamins, they are very minute in quantity and have no therapeutic potential to cure hepatitis. Science has established the fact that hepatitis B, A, B, C, D, E, all of these are being caused by viruses, and viruses are tiny particles, germs, which have a mechanism of damage to the liver, and each of these damages can be interrupted. Now, in the acute phase of hepatitis, the majority, in particular for hepatitis B, would recover if they contracted this condition in adulthood. Reason: the immune system is robust, and there are cells within our bodies known as natural killer cells, which are recruited and which will then attack the infected cells and destroy the virus with the cells, and some of which will then manifest with jaundice and abdominal pain and discomfort, nausea, vomiting, and all kinds of illnesses and feelings. At this time of lethargy, patients do not eat well, and that also contributes to why they lose energy. And so, of course, to the patient, the immediate thing that gives them energy, they would attribute cure to it. And I think that is the basis for which people think that sugarcane cures hepatitis. We know that 9 out of 10 persons who are infected by acute hepatitis would recover. It is only a small percentage, which is about 1 in 10, that may then progress to having chronic hepatitis. And so we don't have literature to show how many of patients who have taken these sugarcane and then they have actually demonstrated cure. It is all anecdotal and self-reports by people. I had established the 10 or more steps that are involved before a drug is attributed cure to any disease and then rolled out to the public for usage. I might mention a few here, but I will leave that for another video. But the reality is that the fact of sugarcane and cure of hepatitis is just a myth. It has no truth in it and should actually worry people who may even have conditions for which sugarcane may worsen. Think about it, diabetes, and then you're taking sugarcane even when your blood sugar is not normal or low. That means that you are actually going to tip yourself into an acute complication of diabetes. Now come to the point. For those who have severe damage from a chronic liver disease, such as one that is failing, perhaps cirrhosis, you would have noticed in hospitals that some of these patients are given dextrose. Dextrose is a high solution of sugar. And that is just to address the metabolic consequence of the inflammation and damage to the liver. And that is only advisable through a guarded mechanism to ensure that there are no complications to it. I would therefore refrain from prescribing sugarcane as a cure for hepatitis. Of course, those who slip onto having chronic hepatitis are managed separately. Now, the subject of hepatitis is such a technical one that it would only be wise to actually consult your physician should you have need of basic advice on what to do and how to go about it. I'm happy to continue to advise you. You can ask your questions and put your comments and or subscribe to this video, and I would be available to advise and indeed engage with you. Thank you very much. Until then, bye-bye for now.